Aangename kennis, dumelang, molweni. My name is Jacob Moshokoa, driving the Albany breed of Bakkies in South Africa. In fact, not South Africa, I'd have to say the entire continent. This one is the Hilux GR Sport, the best of the best when it comes to this brand without a doubt. And if you're looking for a Hilux Bakkie, there's a Hilux Bakkie to suit and match your pocket. Check out the Cars.co.za platform. There's exactly 2,819 Hilux Bakkies currently available for you to buy. Now, let's get into the business of the day, driving the Albany bread.
Think of a car, any car. Yes, Cars.co.za. Let's find what moves you.
Ke atjhe. Sello. Ha ke atjhe.
With budget insurance, there's no back and forth. You claim, we pay.
We are now in the 8th generation of the Toyota Hilux. With a blink of an eye, I can actually remember the original Hilux. And the only reason why is because they're actually very sought after. The Toyota Hips, if you know the street name for the Hilux. In fact, the Toyota Hips still holds its value right now, so many years later. Here we are in a very special one, being the GR Sport. So what makes the GR Sport so unique? It's very striking from when you see it. I mean, this color is Arizona red, and it's littered with GR badging everywhere. And when you think GR, what do you think of? Kazoo racing, fast, Dakar rally, etc. So it's very nice to have a street legal car with all the gizmos of a Dakar sort of car. The over fenders on this car make it look a lot more butch, a lot more bulky. In fact, it is 30 millimeters wider than the normal Toyota Hilux. It even comes with all-terrain tires, 17-inch. Those are standard from when you order it from the factory. And I do like the idea of the heritage with Dakar. So it's nice to see a car with that big heritage driving on South African roads. And talking about driving it on South African roads, I've had the opportunity to kick this car about for the past few days, and I can't believe how much attention it gets from people walking on the side of the road or other Bakkie lovers. You gotta like the look of a GR Sport Hilux. It just has that thing. Inale that thing. Now, you would think in a Bakkie it's uncomfortable when navigating serious roads. This one is pretty simple. I like the fact that with the GR Sport, they've upgraded the suspension. It's got the monotube dampers versus the previous generation, which had the dual or two dampers on the suspension. It was very rough to drive the previous generation of this car versus this one. So a lot of thought went into comfortability, whether you're driving on-road or off-road. And this one, it does it very well. Now, talking about the previous generation Hilux GR Sport, it just didn't do it for me from a looks perspective. Specifically on the outside, I didn't like the colors that were everywhere on the car. This one, as much as there is GR Sport badges all around the car, it's still very subtle. The Arizona color, yes, is eye-catching. But, I mean, you can low-key roll with this car and even park next to another Hilux, and you won't quickly notice how the GR Sport is the superior one. Now here's what you get under the bonnet. The trusted 2.8 four-cylinder turbo diesel engine that we all know and have come to love. Now, the power output of this car gives it 165 kilowatts of power and 550 Newton meters of torque, and is mated so well with the 6-speed automatic gearbox. Now comparing it to a normal Hilux, you're getting 500 Newton meters of torque and 150 kilowatts of power. I'm actually chasing down a Fortuner in front of me. And what I like about this car is even the Fortuner drivers give it a second look. Now, talking about other cars like the Fortuner, I mean, it's worth mentioning the competitors for this car. And the only serious competitor that I can't help but think of is, of course, the Ford Ranger Wildtrak. I can't really talk about the Isuzu Arctic truck because that comes in with a little more pound for car versus this one, which is beautifully priced at 999,000 Rand. So it's $1 million. What are you getting for $1 million Rand in this car versus the likes of the Wildtrak? There's definitely way more tech on a Wildtrak versus this car. But in Toyota's defense, there's that age-old saying, if something isn't broken, you don't necessarily have to fix it. So why change a good thing? Why change the success story of Bakkies in South Africa when the build quality of the car spells its own success? So what else do you get when you spend $1 million Rand on a GR Sport Hilux? I think an important thing to mention is, of course, the warranty and service plan of this car. You get a 3-year, 90,000 kilometer service plan and a 3-year, 100,000 kilometer warranty on the car. But those numbers in a Toyota are actually nothing. I want to tell you a story about a guy I know. He's an avid car guy. We've known each other for years. We've only seen each other's classic cars. And one day, I had to meet up with him during the week. He rocks up at the meeting in a 5th generation Toyota Hilux. The car, extremely clean. I'm talking no scratches, no funny dings on it, and even on the inside, well maintained and well looked after. The first thing he says to me is, Jacob, check out the mileage. I look at the mileage of the car and it's just hit 500,000 kilometers. He's never had to open that engine. He's always just looked after it. If you look after your Toyota, man, it's going to look after you. In fact, your great-grandchildren could possibly be driving the exact same car if they keep the standard the same. So that's what you're getting when you're buying a Toyota, specifically something like a Hilux. You're getting a forever family car. Now, when I mention this car, and I've mentioned other cars as well in this segment, could they last you that long? Just think about it. Will they last you as long as a Toyota Hilux will? And I'll leave you with that. So apart from the upgraded suspension on this car, they've also upgraded the brakes of this car. Now, the previous generation of the Hilux GR Sport actually had rear drum brakes. These ones are now 15-inch brake discs at the back and 17-inch brake discs in the front. All of this encapsulates and makes sure that you have a much easier drive. So yes, this car can kick down very fast, but at the same time, it can stop quite well. And for all you off-road enthusiasts, you fundies, here's something that you gotta know. This new GR Sport Hilux has a greater approach angle versus the previous one. And of course, enhanced ground clearance means you go further, means you go deeper, means you really do adventuring the right way. And with a bit of city driving and open road driving, I've managed to get somewhere between 11 liters per 100 kilometers. Today, obviously, there's more open road driving. I've got it up to exactly 12 liters per 100 kilometers. And I know Toyota claims somewhere in the 8s. We have to be honest, you are highly unlikely to get that on the 8s when you're driving in the city. But on an open road, driving on the very long road, you could easily get there without any issues. Because that's the thing about a Toyota. You can actually rely on what they say. Now, when it comes to towing, braked towing capacity is 3.5 tons and unbraked is 750 kilograms. Here's one thing they got on the car to show you some more that it's a GR Sport. It's got the red on the steering wheel, slap bang in the middle, 12 o'clock, in case you're on a dirt track and you need to find the middle when you're overtaking all the other Bakkies I mentioned. And then these seats alone on this car are so comfortable. It's electric to control for the driver, and yes, because it's the GR, it has some suede and leather finishing to it. I have to be honest, it's not the best interior. It has a great JBL sound system. Everything is sort of laid out quite nicely. But the issue here is, and it's only an issue if you're that type of person, right? The car is still basic Toyota. There's nothing special about it. Like, you jump into this, you jump into a regular Quest Corolla, you jump into the likes of a Toyota Cross, or even just any other basic Hilux. It all looks the same. It's not fancy, it doesn't have extra gizmos, it's plain Jane. Toyota went for a standard analog speedometer and rev counter, while the likes of the Wildtrak, it's all gone digital. If you think of the infotainment system on the Wildtrak, it's huge. Toyota went for a no-frills, very easy infotainment system, which is easy to press and navigate and actually work through. The Wildtrak one is big, it is modern, but at times it becomes intimidating. It's got a nice slot to put your phone, no wireless charging. It's got 2 cup holders and enough storage here inside to at least put your glasses and your cell phone. It only has 1 USB up in the front and 2 power sockets. Quite easy, they have covers. But guess what? You don't get any of that in the back. I know what you're gonna say. Jacob, R1,000,000 and I don't even get a USB-C port, let alone 2 USBs in the back. Well, that's what you get. I spoke about no frills and no fuss. That's what you get. The buttons are pretty simple on the steering wheel as well, for you to be able to get information, to change tracks, and even do your easy volume control and change from radio and even change to Bluetooth, etc. It even has voice command. That's when you have your Apple CarPlay. But the Apple CarPlay does work with one little plug on a USB cord.
The selected type was not found for Bakkie Fleet, but there are other numbers. Do you want to call Bakkie Fleet Mobile?
No, I don't want to give the car back. So what are you looking for in an interior if you are about to buy a Bakkie like this? If you want the fancy stuff, then maybe a Wildtrak is the car that you gotta go for. But if you want no fuss, no frills, the Hilux does it. So in conclusion, where would the R1,000,000 go if you're looking to buy a double cab Bakkie? If it was me, after driving so many Bakkies, I'll definitely go for this car. And it's not only because of the presumption of reliability when it comes to Toyota. It's just that we did a really cool Bakkie video the other day where we got to drag race this car versus other Hilux Bakkies. And guess who came out tops? The GR Sport Hilux was the winner. So for me, I won't necessarily take a second glance at the likes of a Panamericana VW Amarok or even the Wildtrak. The idea of driving from Cape to Cairo makes the most sense in a GR Hilux Sport. And that's where my money is. Thanks so much for watching this video. It's been so lekker driving the Western Cape outback roads with this Bakkie. Make sure you like and subscribe, and always remember to keep left and pass right. Catch you on the next video.
Think of a car, any car. Yes, Cars.co.za. Let's find what moves you.
Get insurance that pays out faster than the word Archie. Budget, the official insurer of good South Africans.